A lot of high performing mothers are functioning well externally, while internally carrying a constant sense of guilt. Not because they are neglecting their responsibilities, but because somewhere deep inside it feels like they are never fully doing enough. No matter where they are, part of them always feels that they should be somewhere else. Let's look at the story of Sujata, who was doing exceptionally well professionally. She was responsible, disciplined, highly dependable, the kind of person everyone relied on. But one evening, after coming back from work, she sat next to her child while answering office messages on her phone. A few minutes later, her child asked very innocently, "Ma, are you working again?" It was not even an accusation. The child was calm, but Sujata immediately felt guilty. At that moment, she realized something deeper. Even when she was physically present at home, mentally she never felt fully available anywhere. At work, she worried about her child. At home, she worried about work. And during rest, she worried that she was falling behind in both. Many high performing mothers are living with a split identity. One part of them has spent years building competence, discipline, and several achievements to their name, and another part of them wants to be emotionally present, deeply connected, and available for their child. The problem is that these two worlds often operate on completely different expectations. The professional world rewards productivity, efficiency, measurable outcomes, consistency, and performance. Parenting does not work that way. Parenting is emotional, repetitive, unpredictable, and relational. There is no final achievement unlocked moment in parenting. No point where you feel, okay, I have completed this successfully. And for minds that are used to structure, achievement, and visible progress, that can feel deeply unsettling. So, what happens? The mind starts trying to compensate emotionally. If a mother spends time at work, guilt appears in the form of this question: am I missing important moments with my child? If she spends time with her child, the question changes to: am I falling behind professionally? If she takes time for herself, then she asks, am I being selfish? This creates a situation where no choice feels fully peaceful. Every decision feels emotionally expensive and emotionally exhausting. And over time, guilt stops becoming an occasional emotion, it becomes the emotional baseline of everyday life. A quiet feeling of, I could be doing more, I should be handling this better, maybe I'm falling short somewhere. Modern motherhood has intensified this even further. Today, mothers are expected to succeed professionally, stay emotionally regulated, be deeply involved parents, maintain relationships, manage homes, prioritize health, remain patient, and somehow do all of this gracefully. At the same time, social media constantly exposes mothers to idealized versions of parenting, which quietly creates another layer of pressure and makes you think everyone else seems to be doing this better, even when logically we know that those images are not a true representation of the actual reality. I think many women who were once very connected to their own individuality slowly start disappearing into different roles and managing everyone's needs. And somewhere in between all these identities, they lose connection with themselves as a person gradually over time. This is why I don't think the solution is simply trying harder. Most high performing mothers are already trying enough. The deeper issue is that many of them are operating from the belief that a good mother should always be available, emotionally stable, patient, productive, and selfless. That is not a sustainable standard for any human being, not just mothers. So the goal is not to become a mother who sacrifices herself endlessly in the name of love, because when guilt becomes the central force driving motherhood, women slowly start abandoning themselves emotionally. Their needs become secondary, their rest feels undeserved, their individuality starts shrinking quietly in the background. And over time, motherhood begins to feel less like connection and more like emotional survival. High performing mothers do not necessarily need more discipline or more pressure. Most of them have already carried enough pressure for a lifetime. What many of them truly need is the ability to stop measuring their worth through constant self sacrifice. Because guilt cannot be the emotional foundation of sustainable parenting. And children do not benefit from a mother who's emotionally depleted, trying to prove she is doing enough. They benefit from a mother who's emotionally available and a mother who's able to sustain herself along with caring for them. For more such videos on parenting, do consider subscribing to this channel. Thank you for being here.